Welcome to the Emo Social Club podcast, broadcasting to you live from emosocialclub.tv. I am Brian.
And I'm Lizzie, and we're here this evening with our new DC friends, Dear Spring. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Hell yeah. What's up? This is Dave.
I'm Marty.
And I'm Cam. Furthest west.
Furthest to the left side of the state.
Oh, geographically.
Geographically.
Yes.
The farthest left geographically.
East to
based
west.
on how we're looking at the screen right now.
Cam's definitely furthest west coast in terms of culture, though, as well.
Oh, true.
Okay.
Most
So it all
likely
tracks.
to be a surfer.
Shaka bra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most likely to be from California. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most likely to live on the what? I'm like trying to think
On
of like a
Venice
non-surfing
Beach
thing.
in a
Like, where does
van
California
doing
do besides
van
surf?
life stuff.
Most likely to be caught at an In-N-Out. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely to live on the San Andreas Fault.
Ooh.
That's some California knowledge for you.
Damn.
That's. I think I revealed too much. Sorry.
Be well.
If this was like tell me the truth or whatever, or don't tell. I don't forgot whatever that game show
Tell me
is.
the truth, the game show.
tell the truth. That's it.
True.
Tell me the truth right now. Where do you
I love like
Tell me the truth right now, people.
that sounds like
To tell the truth. To tell the truth.
that sounds like a Maury type thing. Like
Yeah,
tell the
that's
truth.
like a who's
It's
the
like a lie
father
detector
type
says that.
situation.
Lie.
Listen, Maury's going off
Shit,
air.
let's not
Someone's
get-
got to pick
Let's
it
not get
up.
into that.
Dude, we were just talking about old people, and I couldn't relate. So Maury's like 80 years old.
He just got taken off the air.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
see,
sad.
someone's got to pick it up.
You guys know who he's married to?
No.
No.
Connie Chung.
Really?
What?
Yep.
Like
It's the weirdest thing. Fun fact. All right, signing
Yeah,
off, guys.
interesting.
Goodbye.
I did my due diligence today.
I did my research. All right, I'm done.
I mean, he's just surprisingly old, you know? Like, and I feel like there's a strong age difference there, I'm assuming.
I guess we're all gonna get surprisingly old, right?
That's the dream.
Sorry,
Brian's
I'm having an
stumping
existential
out.
life.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. It's all good. Ever since you brought up mid, you got Cam thinking
Yeah.
too much.
It's
Yeah.
really because Brian. I tried to explain the mid sound on TikTok to Brian, and he didn't know what I was talking about.
That's great. Which makes me sound older because I'm like, what's a TikTok? I don't
Yeah.
know about this TikTok.
Talking ticks. Yeah.
You're talking to ticks.
I used to work for a producer who would describe records that he didn't like as mid-fi. Like, it's not bad. It's not cool to be lo-fi or not good enough to be hi-fi, mid-fi.
Okay.
But it has nothing to do with sound quality.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
I guess
Oh,
the
okay.
style of music is mid. Like, if you're like, I don't like the
Style of
band.
music is mid-play.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sound quality would go down
Scoop
too.
the mids.
Keep the mids in there. But your guys' music is hi-fi. So can you tell us about your recent E EP?
Transition.
Yeah.
I love that segue, by the
Right.
way. Thank
That
you.
was class.
Yeah. Dave, you want to talk about the EP?
Sure, yeah. So it's called Moments. It's got 6 tracks. One is an instrumental track. And I think it really represented a big shift for us in terms of collectively refocusing as a band, after having a couple of years off to sort of not be able to play shows, but seek that same sort of feeling and like catharsis and output, right? Making music and doing it in a really intentional way and, redefining what Dear Spring is to all of us. And the sort of result of that was capturing very much the moments that we shared together during the year that we recorded it. And that's really what the EP is all about, right? Taking time to reflect on who you are and who you are today and who you want to be one day. That's my little philosophical piece. I'll let the other guys maybe speak a little bit too.
Yeah, it sort of, we started writing it right in the time of COVID, and we were just sort of building up some speed and momentum with shows, and we had to put a pause on it as the rest of the world did. And during that time, a lot of introspection. We really grew as people and supporting each other. We're absolutely a family, and grown a lot closer over the years. So the amount of work that went into writing and refining the songs that we did create was just so much more. We always felt like we're just crossing the finish line in terms of enough music to call it an EP, or this is enough to release. And this time we wrote way beyond that, and then got to select the best of what we created, which just results in something so much more true to where we're at and that we're so much more proud of.
Yeah, the pandemic definitely was life-changing for a lot of people, especially me, because my wife and I, we had our first son, a COVID baby. It was just kind of like reshifting focus, maybe music is going to take a back seat. Maybe it's actually not going to be part of my life anymore, and I got to focus on having a kid. But the good thing is the kid actually inspired me to it sparked the creativity in me and reinvigorated me to write more guitar parts, songs, and really reconnect with my friends, because, I just don't want to be like a father with no social life. So it actually, funny enough, having Zane, my son, actually made me more closer to like Dave and Marty and the rest of the guys in the band. So, yeah. This was definitely a crazy time, and it just made me reevaluate my life.
We feel super lucky we have this EP and where the band is right now coming out the other side of it.
Totally.
Every time I've worked on a project, I end up hating everyone I'm working on the project with. So it's very nice to know that there are some people who are like, we grew closer by working on this thing together. Because I'm like, it was so much more hopeful out there than I felt in the past with projects. But maybe we say this all the time, and I really hate saying it, but it's like there were some good things that came from like the cultural, emotional reset from what the pandemic and isolation did. And for a lot of people who are creatives and who make music and who make things around music, I found just like the community really grew a lot closer, and people kind of reevaluated it and saw like, yeah, this is actually like, this is a better way for us to do it, where we're all generally happier and more satisfied with what we're doing. And it's funny because a lot of people obviously are a lot of like older musicians now are like, yeah, I'm married and I have kids and I'm trying to play in a band and tour. And it's like, there's definitely been a lot of people who've figured it out now. And it's like, yeah, you can actually just, it works. You can make it work and still be happy and still be satisfied. It's nice to hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a different.
There are a lot of creative differences that we have, and we debate those passionately all the time. But Deer Spring's a true democracy, and at the end of those, we're always closer, even though there are those like contentious times or strong disagreements where everyone's very sure that their idea is the path forward.
We've got a lot of years doing that, though. I mean, I think that makes a big difference. I think a lot of bands have trouble because bands have trouble staying together for a long time. And for us, maybe in terms of this record, it's a different story. But in terms of how long, like Marty, Cam, Jonah, who's not here tonight, but sings in Deer Spring, and I have all been playing together and working together and been friends. I think like after the first 5 years of all having that kind of a relationship is kind of like, okay, we know where our disagreements happen. We know that we have like different inputs and different influences. and we have different lifestyles too, but we're all generally close friends that like very much love each other outside of just the music. And then in addition to all of that, I think like the band just really settled in on being a true democracy many years ago. And as a result, it's kind of just like we're used to having difficult conversations and then taking votes and then being like, all right, move on because there's too much shit to do to dwell on anything, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what's worked for us.
And on top of that, I feel the pandemic has kind of shown, all of us our vulnerability, right? And we're more comfortable, and now we're more empathetic with one another. So we do get into disagreements, but then, afterwards we'll call each other and being like, dude, I'm sorry I blew up at you, or text each other. So honestly, this band is not just 4 or 5 musicians just getting together and playing and then going on with their lives afterwards. We're actually like all best friends.
And then like, I think the other thing that was really great about recording this record for us was like taking all of that material that we had put together, which was sort of like, as Marty was saying, like different than the last time we recorded. Cause we very much used to, since we would self-produce everything and mix and master it ourselves, we would spend so much time focusing on each song and trying to make it perfect. And that ended up being sort of that situation that Marty was talking about, where it was like, can we come up with enough? Right. This time we just spent so much time writing, and we had so much that when we went for the first time to like actually go work with a producer, right, and be in a studio together for like a week or weeks at a time and record it, I think we came out the other side with such a more cohesive sounding record and such better songs as a result also of some of the things, Cam was just talking about, us all getting closer together during the pandemic and just the friendships that we had. And we're super proud of it. I think it was a big step forward for us.
I think having that is like the most important, because I always thought like when I've listened to other podcasts or other just like interviews with bands, and sometimes they just seem so like, yeah, like we're acquaintances, but you work so closely in like such close spaces all the time together. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do otherwise? Like, am I not supposed to be close to them? Do I keep them at arm's length? And it's good to know that that's not the norm for most people, it seems, because otherwise, like, how are you going to get things done?
This is Lizzie saying she doesn't want to be my friend anymore. She just wants to be.
Oh my God.
I actually think it was Lizzie saying that I couldn't work with you, Brian, if we weren't friends. That's what I heard. She said.
But see, behind the scenes,
way to
we're
spin
not
it
friends.
positively, Dave.
Now allow me to twist this so that you aren't emotionally damaged during the recording of this podcast.
Listen, Brian just doesn't like it that I call him. Brian just doesn't like it that I call him Bestie all the time to reaffirm.
So you're saying aw, but like, okay, if somebody came to you and they said Bestie, or if somebody came to you and they said, hey, good to see you, like, buddy, like, Chief, how you doing, Chief? You'd be like, I would never hit a person, but I'm so close. I'm about to reach a new level. I'm Super Saiyan right now. It just hits me hard, and I cannot see it as anything else. I just see it as an insult.
That's fair.
So it sounds like you're being patronized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does sound patronizing. I went through an awkward phase. I think sometimes I do things like I'm making fun of those things, like saying like, I don't know. I went through a phase where I was like, everyone was chief, buddy, guy, all that. And I had a friend be like, listen, man, that's kind of rude, especially when you're like at the hardware store and you just say it to like one of the employees there. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh yeah, that is.
I'm not your bag.
Yeah.
I'm not your friend, buddy.
See, Lizzie, this is now the second time we've talked to people about this, and I've been saying, like, yeah, it's just every time you say it, I know you're not being passive aggressive, but you're being passive aggressive.
I'm not. Literally, I would just tell you if I had an issue with you and just be straight up aggressive, and you know that.
I think you're like that's the passive part of aggression, is like, I would just tell you. Passive.
I think thing is too, I started saying bestie ironically too. And now it just, I was literally talking, I've called my students besties, be like, hey besties, I need you to turn your shit in on time. Hey, my news director, hey bestie, I don't think this is going to work out. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Always
calling everybody it now.
I think you guys are going to be on my side on this one. I think we're going to get quorum here, and it's going to be like, no, it's not right.
I'm just going to teach. I'm going to plead the fifth on this one. I'm stepping.
I teach radio journalism and media studies.
Very cool. Is that a college level?
Yeah, college.
That's awesome. I teach music production, but to high schoolers.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many of them are your besties?
Yeah. None of them I would consider besties, but a couple of them, after they've graduated, have gone on to do like full-length records with me.
Nice.
Which is very fulfilling.
Nice.
I thought you were going to say after graduating, they went on to become my chiefs.
My buddies, my guys.
Maybe someday
a couple of chiefs.
They'll earn that status.
One guy.
Oh, man. You guys with your besties and your chiefs and buddies and friends.
Yeah.
This is like, I'm going to sound so old. I'm trying not to say things where I'm just like, another thing I hate about the TikTok, but at the same time, I'm just like,
the cultural reset also came with TikTok during COVID. So
the cultural reset also came with like making me feel like everything is my lawn and I just want all these damn kids to get off of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like you see videos now of like nurses doing TikTok videos while someone's getting a procedure done. And that's
I'm like, hey, that person back there might be whole ass dying. Can you like go over there and check on him?
She's like, this is the only way to make money now.
Dude, that sounds like a HIPAA violation. People are doing that.
Dude, I literally saw that today. That's why I mentioned it. It's like this guy, and you just hear his like beep, beep, beep. And in the corner, there's just like a nurse doing like a TikTok dance with her like.
I mean, at least it's not like the flatline sound, so there's that.
Say, what if the flatlines while she's dancing? That would.
I mean, what if you're like, damn, he just died, and she like hits a dab or something?
Yeah. It'd be pretty legendary. It would be pretty legendary.
Like first and last TikTok. Perfect.
Yeah.
I think you landed on the next, viral video, basically. Or
oh my God.
Someone let the nurse girlies know out there.
Dabbing and flatlining.
Dab.
Like my first thought was
Dablining.
like, is she
Dablining?
Is she dancing to the beat of the EKG? I don't know.
You know what? One of my. This is gonna sound bad. One of our family friends, he had to get an emergency surgery to get his appendix removed like 2 hours before we jumped into this call, and I'm like, what if I just go there? And I talked to one of the nurses, like, hey, do you want to try this?
I'm here to see him. I hope he's doing well in his recovery. This is my dance for TikTok. I am essentially octopus. I don't know.
Nice.
You're just popping and locking. That's
Yeah.
Bringing the 80s back.
Yep.
Oh no.
Popping out
like
and being locked out of TikTok.
Yeah, it's watching Breaking.
Yeah. The cultural reset that also brought us back to
That probably
Breaking.
told my age too.
I knew exactly what it was because it's a movie from the 80s, a decade I was born in, Lizzie.
I'm aware of that, bestie.
See?
Ooh.
See? Now you all think we're fighting, but she just said it. No, it's not that she's mean, but it's like, now we're all on the same page, right?
Not opening.
Ease
She's
the
not
tension.
opening.
Ease the tension. I'm going to say a fun fact, okay?
We love fun facts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jean-Claude Van Damme's first movie was actually Breakin'.
Yeah.
He was wearing spandex leotard and was in the background, and he had like a little dance moment. He was literally in there for 30 seconds.
But that was his breakout role.
Oh, yes.
That joke was pretty mid.
Ouch.
The tension has risen again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought we were all going to be on your side about the bestie thing, but now I'm just seeing openings where I want to throw some besties.
You see?
Yeah.
I don't need you to be on my side. I just need us all to agree that that it could be painful, and then Lizzie is making the decision to hurt me.
Yeah, as friends do.
We started this with like, yeah, you know, we really grew together as a band, and we, you know, we were all best friends, and we love each other, and we love creating together. And then Lizzie's like, yeah, bestie over here.
And then we're all ganging up on you.
Yeah. I have.
You know what? It happens.
I have banned Lizzie from some of our Discord channels just because I'm tired of the bullshit. Like the one that only the two of us are in. I just keep leaving it.
Yeah. I sent him something and then he deleted it. And I said, did you just delete what I sent you? He's like, yeah, I'm not hearing this anymore. I was like, okay.
That sounds pretty passive aggressive to me, bro.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Oh, he's admitting it.
I agree.
Wow, so he's self-aware. He's done some
He's
Yeah.
self-aware.
yeah.
Yes.
We love a self-aware mid-king.
I feel like we're
Mid-king.
making progress here. We're like having some real breakthrough moments for Brian and Lizzie.
Isn't it crazy?
We
It's
were
almost
Put our best foot forward.
Maury, right?
It's a Maury. Now listen, David, I just think you could be the new Maury now.
Maybe I could. Maybe I could.
Yeah.
Swoop on
Do you have to
in.
do that sometimes in Deer Spring? Be the Maury of the band. Sometimes I have to. We'll listen to a demo and then I'll be like, Jonah, you're not the father. You're not.
Wow, that's really. And how's that usually go over?
Usually goes over with Jonah being like, I know because I write everything after you guys finish writing the music. And I'm like, oh, okay. So this was Cam's song. Yeah.
But I didn't write the guitars.
Shing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
So, kind of getting back a little bit more into your music versus Emo Social Club therapy sessions with all the bands we ever talk to, happens more often than you were to think. But you guys just wrapped up kind of like a mini tour, and you're also playing with Calling All Captains next month as well. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the run was really awesome. We did it with the Bronze Age out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Awesome dudes. Really dope live show. They really brought the energy. It was a sick run. We played in Charlotte, North Carolina. Then we played in Virginia Beach, and then we came back home and played in Rockville. And it was really great. It was great to see some friends out on the road, catch up with some family. Cam's actually got some family out in North Carolina, so we spent some time with them in our downtime, which was great. And it just feels sick to be playing this record finally. I mean, like we recorded it, but getting to play all the songs live and then play to people who like know the songs because they're out now, that was pretty sick. Like I remember, and this isn't like this run that we just did, but a couple weeks back we played in Philly. We've been doing like a couple one-off shows in the lead up to this run. And so like 2 weeks ago before this one, we played in Philly, and it was the first time that we played, and there were people there who like knew the words to our new songs and were singing them. And that was just like, at least for me, because like for at least for the song, like the lyrics that I wrote, like seeing someone else sing them back, that was a very awesome moment. So it's just been really sick. I don't know if you guys have thoughts too.
No, it definitely gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, sometimes, well, usually the recording process, you do a lot of experimenting on your instrument as you're recording it. You're changing things on the fly. And what you hear at the end of it is usually like a comp of all the best moments of your performances. So it feels like you're learning the songs when you go to rehearse them with the band, because in some ways you really are. So this run, at the end of it, we just have that really tight set, and just allows you to like feel it so much more than consciously worrying about nailing your parts. And the Bronze Age are sick, for sure. That was a really good match. I'm looking forward to playing more shows with them in the future.
Yeah, and we're also excited too because on this recent run we took a photographer, Carter Luthien, along with us, some pictures, but also is putting kind of a music video compilation together, and we're excited about it because it's for another song on the EP, Vultures. So stay tuned for that. Should be coming out hopefully soon.
Yeah,
Subscribe now. Be notified.
Yeah.
Visual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
The
tell.
show's
Yeah.
coming
By the
up.
way, Open Your Ears Records. Surprise. That's what we're doing. No, I'm just kidding. They know.
Listen, it wouldn't be the first time we leaked information accidentally.
We're happy to leak.
Nice.
We love leaks. Yeah,
Yeah.
By the end of this, you have to leak at least something.
Sure.
All right. Got it.
But that
Credit
Captain
card
show-
information. Got it.
That Captain show is going to be sick. We're really stoked for that. Been big fans of those guys for a while. Really sick that they're finally making their way down here from Canada. I know, obviously with the pandemic, a lot of the bands haven't been able to get in and out of Canada and the US as easily. So it's great that now they're able to tour again and that they're on the road with our buddies in Goalkeeper, who we love to death. Those dudes are the shit. They're always, helping us out when we're in Philly, and we're always coming out or playing with them when they're in our area. And it's great to see them doing great stuff with bands like with Captains, and it's going to be a sick show. We're really stoked. We've been very much looking forward to it. It's a great venue. We love playing there, and we love the people who are going to be there.
Yeah. So July 21st at the Pie Shop.
Yeah, the Pie Shop. What do you guys know about the Pie Shop? You know anything about the Pie Shop?
Key lime.
I would assume I get free pie, and if I don't, I'm
You
going to
can
be
do fall.
upset.
If you play
If you
there,
play
free
there,
pie.
you get free pie. Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Okay, I
it's
was
a
going to say,
legitimate
like,
pie shop downstairs. Upstairs is about 100 plus a few big deck, like a venue bar upstairs. Really, really legit.
Really
It's
sick.
like an intimate kind of environment. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. I
yeah.
was going to say, like, we have been, like, we interview a lot of bands from the East Coast, and it just feels like there's a lot more, like, opportunity there. There's a lot more going on. There's a lot more bands. There's a lot more, like geographically, Chicago is a big city that has a lot of bands in it. So we end up getting a lot of bands from Chicago, but, like, Milwaukee is the closest other city. We've got Indianapolis, I guess.
Yeah.
There's Iowa, I think. I think that still is there. I don't think we got rid of that yet. Ohio, probably closer to the East Coast than it is to us. At sometimes, so it's like it's very like, yeah, I'm jealous like of that community that is fairly close to like go and play shows in other cities and do kind of like a weekend run and hit like a couple different states, different cities, and like get the communities involved. But now you're telling me that there's pie. And now I'm like, yo, so you have a tight knit community that like gets pie? It sucks. What do we have? I mean, I guess we could have pie, but we'd have to go get it from somewhere else to bring to the venue.
It wouldn't be free pie. That's
It wouldn't
the
be
thing.
free pie.
No, it wouldn't. And it would be both savory or sweet. So you have your pick. Yeah.
I mean,
Speaking of which,
I don't-
let's just go around the room here.
presumably,
Savory or
dude,
sweet pie, and then what kind of pie is your favorite?
sweet pie, and then what
Yeah.
pie is your favorite pie? That's not
There you
sweet.
go.
Okay.
No. If you're picking sweet pie, what is your favorite sweet pie?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I know what yours is. We all know what yours
Well,
is.
duh, yeah.
Um,
The world
I thi-
knows what my favorite pie is.
I think for me, it would have to be pecan pie. I love pecan pie, especially.
That was a real deep thought too with it, like, oh shit, like
Well, I almost went first. I was like, "Oh, do I go strawberry rhubarb?" Because that's like when I think about my childhood, that's what I think about with the pie. But then I've grown up since then, right? And now I think about those times at Thanksgiving when I'm with my family and I have that nice slice of pecan pie. But then that made me think about apple pie, which I got excited about for a second, which is why you heard me go, "Oh shit!" But then I was like, "Nah." The pie shop has the chocolate chip
Chocolate pecan.
pie. That's
Yeah.
like the best. So that's what I was thinking of, and that's the
That's
one
it.
for sure.
They also have a pulled pork pie. That's awesome.
Brian's like,
What?
that's sus. That sounds sus.
Well, no, I'm in. I'm like, dude, I'm just getting. My problem is that the more I think about like to answer the question, I would say definitely pumpkin pie, hands down, number one pie of all time for me. And I stand by this, and you can disagree all you want. It means is that I get more of the pumpkin pie when it's available, so you don't have to have any. So I get more of the thing I like, and I stand by that. But then I start thinking of like other pies, right? Because I have to know, like, okay, so if you were confronted with you could only have one, pumpkin pie or apple pie, which would you choose? And now that there is that option, I go, well, I'm going to have the pumpkin pie, but I'm thinking about the apple. And then you're eating the apple pie, and you're like, now I'm thinking about pecan pie. And then you're eating that, and you're like, but I'm thinking about like chocolate. You know, you like keeps going down the line of like, I'm still thinking about other pies while I'm with this pie. This might be more telling about other. This isn't a metaphor. This is just a straight up like.
I think
I'm just
it
thinking about
is.
eating all of the
You're
pies.
not pie monogamous.
Right. I'm
It's
pie
not
curious.
a-
Pie-mogamous?
Yeah,
Pie curious.
Yeah.
Pie curious. I like that. Yeah.
I consider myself an Epicurean. And it is, after all,
Pie-curator?
Pride Month.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
God.
Oh, no, he
Yeah.
went there.
Whew. Oh man.
Welcome to the
And
final
we're-
episode of the
I like that.
Wearing the
It's
gay
actually all
Slipknot
Brian's
shirt.
fault.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Stand by it. Look, I'm wearing a gay Slipknot shirt. I feel like I have one. I have just a little bit of wiggle room.
As
It
a
was a
treat.
harmless joke.
Yeah,
That
as
was
your
good.
resident
It
cishet
was
white
good
man
fun.
You're right.
who likes pies.
Who likes
White
pie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cam, what's your favorite pie?
No. I want to throw it at Liz.
Why don't you
Sorry.
just tell us what we all know already? All right. Sorry.
Dude, I know. All right, I'll just go quick. I love sweet pie, banana cream pie. All right,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have these like second thoughts, third thoughts. You know, if I know what I
You
want.
know what you like, and that's it.
I
Thinking
know
about banana
what
cream
I
pie
like,
now.
and if I don't get it, I'm gonna say I leave kicking and screaming. Basically,
Okay.
go check that
So
out
is
from
that-
your local library. Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, if you're still open. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. A family video, even.
Yeah.
Family
What
Video.
family?
There's one family video left in my area. The one that was like
Yeah.
down the street from me finally closed, and now it's like a gaming cafe.
Ah.
If there
That's
has to be a replacement, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Could be
It's a
big
gaming
square,
cafe,
but,
and then it's next to a weed shop. So there's that.
no, those go hand in hand.
They know.
Good combo.
And then
Yeah,
Pizza
yeah.
Hut's right next door. They got everything
Man.
over there.
Okay.
They
Triple
never have to
threat.
leave that strip mall.
Just put a
Call
venue
that a
in there.
hat trick.
Put a venue in a pie shop, man.
Yeah,
you
that's
got a
what I'm
Saturday.
saying, right? Yeah, put a venue in the gaming cafe with the pizza place next door and the weed shop. And you got a recipe.
You're all in. You're like a
Awesome.
set for mega business.
And then like a Holiday Inn just very close by, and you just like,
Yeah, just
I'm
for-
gonna crash over here
just to be
'cause
safe.
I got a lot going on in this strip mall.
Yeah, I'm practically comatose right now. The coffee.
Oh man.
So Liz, we're not gonna skip this question.
Oh man, I'm into peppermint front silk pie.
What now?
That is really good.
Front silk?
I'm pie
French.
curious now.
French silk.
Yeah, yeah, French silk. It's at Baker's Square, but it's like peppermint French silk, and it just tastes really good. I also really like peppermint, so like, I'm like, let's go.
Dude, wait, whoa! Did you say Baker's Square? I thought
Baker's Square.
they closed down.
There's some
They did.
left. I mean, out here there's a couple. There's like one maybe 15 minutes from me.
Holy shit!
They have limited pies though right now, which upsetting.
Because most of their stores are closed.
Yeah.
Very Ron Swanson moment where you're like knocking at the door, just like, what happened to the pies when they closed?
Great reference.
What happened
That
to the pies
is
that was in
awesome.
there when they closed?
I'm sure they get other libertarians knocking on those doors.
Oh my god.
Sorry, did I go that way?
Oh no, I was just like thinking like a pie obsessed libertarian knocking
Yeah.
on a Baker's Square is just a really funny mental image for me.
Yeah, we can make a skit out of that.
You taxed me for what? You couldn't even keep the Baker Square open.
So listeners out there, we want to know what your favorite pie is.
Yeah. First of all, go like and subscribe. and then drop your favorite pie flavor. This will be a TikTok,
so stitch this.
Yeah.
And tell us what your favorite pie is. Make it go viral. Are
you pie curious or are you pie ignorant? I don't know.
Are you trying to be Scott Pilgrim right now? Because you need to chill.
Pie agnostic.
Pie agnostic.
Pie agnostic. There you go.
Do you believe that there is one true pie, or do you believe that there is a pie, but he is not our pie savior? I don't know.
Our pie savior.
I have this problem where the bit can't stop, and it's like, hey, careful.
It's okay, bestie.
Lizzie,
throw that in there.
What have you done? What have you done to our friends?
Corruption. I don't know what you want.
Seriously.
It'd be that way sometimes, huh?
Hate it. Going back to like the East Coast and like the community side of things, because I do feel like I miss that. And I wish that we had it here. Like, how do you feel about like, I don't know, like touring in the area and like obviously doing a weekend tour, doing like a small tour, seems like kind of what a lot of bands are prioritizing. I think, like, you know, you can stay in like a general area, you can be home a lot more easily. You can like, you know, have a job, have a career, and then do the music thing as well. And because you now have a community that is around you that will support you, like, yeah, we have shows coming up, like we need somebody to play. It just seems like that's probably the better way that every sort of music community, every scene should be sort of operating now. Or what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think not to keep going back to the same point, but I think that cultural transformation that's occurred over the last several years, coupled with a lot of the changes in technology and access to technology for everyone, has really impacted the business of music, in that at the same time, you know, bands really aren't making money from the actual music itself anymore. It's, you know, the services, the value you can offer that's wrapped around that wraps around, right? So it's like the shows that you play, the merch you offer, the entertainment, the content you create, right? Like for better or for worse, we're kind of all content creators now, even if we're also musicians. Mm-hmm. And I have like mad respect, obviously, for any musician that's out there and is like, I will not get on TikTok. I will not do it. I'm just going to go record a full-length album and not singles and put it on CDs and vinyl and only sell that. All the respect to those people. But I think, you know, for most bands that are going to do well in the end, it's going to be because of hard work. And today, what that hard work is understanding that the content you create as a part of your band is not just the music. The music is the top tier sort of portion of the content. It's your brand, right? But the rest of it is sort of like what value are you offering? Like, why are people interested in being part of your community? And so I think what's been great about that, even though some of that's maybe a little tough to swallow, is that you don't need to always have a show on a Tuesday or a Wednesday if you want to plan a tour, because like people have other ways of consuming content and of interacting with the bands. You can be more strategic with when you book tours and where you play. And like, I feel like it was probably happening mostly before the pandemic, but I feel like for us, we weren't on that level in terms of being organized and driven and like unified. So since the pandemic, I feel like what I have seen is like, it's no longer about like trying to hop on and open for a large national act that's coming through and doing whatever you can to hustle and sell tickets for that. Like, that's great. There's still opportunities you want to do, but it's all about finding the other bands within like a 4 to 8 hour driving radius that you think are sick, that are working hard like you are, whose like music you want to support, but also who are good people and like part of the community. And like, actually going from being like, I'm only interacting with music for bands whose like records that I bought and listened to because I heard about them on like the news or on the internet or something, to like, I just go out to shows and I see the bands that come through, and then the ones who are like legit, I'm like, let's play together. And then we put them up when they come through DC and we go play where they are. And honestly, like, I feel like also a lot of up and coming labels are sort of looking at bands to be able to do that. Like that's what we're all doing these days. It's kind of the onus is on us to be able to step up and do that and create and be a part of the community. And like labels or other, booking agents or larger, more established brands that are helping put tours together, that's great. But I think they're looking for people that are already creating the community, because that's where the real fans come from. Anyways, I'm off my soapbox.
I think a lot of people after COVID, it feels like starting over in a lot of ways. And some bands have really come up, and all the bands that we've associated with over the last couple of years have been brand new to us. And we're fans of each other's music. These weekend runs are just based off of those relationships that we've had with these other bands. And right now, the band's in a place where all of us are all pursuing our own individual careers. So that's what's working for us, and we'll just keep doing these smaller runs.
Now, you guys also work with Open Your Ears Records. How did you decide to kind of sign with them and start to like collaborate in that way?
I think it really just came down to sort of what we were just touching on, that like they were the right fit for us. And they heard our record and thought it was sick and understood our brand and like saw where we were going with the band. And like when we met with them and told them sort of about like what our plans are and like what we want to do, which is like, we want as many people as possible to hear Dear Spring and to dig our music and to be able to get out there and play shows with bands that we think are sick and to be able to keep making that music. They were all about it, and they just wanted to figure out a way for us to enter into a partnership where like they can help us amplify what we're doing, and we can help them by putting together sick music and releasing it on their label and like playing with the other bands and helping to build that community more. And the guys over there are awesome. They totally understood what we were going for, and they totally support us and like totally believe in our creative decisions, and are really great people to work with. So it just made it easy, because we had been a completely DIY independent band the whole time we'd been doing it until, we were getting ready to release this record. And we were like, well, if we were ever going to consider partners, right, they'd have to be the right people. And, the guys at Open Your Ears Records were just really the types of people we wanted to bring onto our team.
Yeah. And we weren't shopping for labels or anything like that. So this was kind of just an opportunity that kind of fell on our laps, which was great. But then also because of like, word of mouth and us building relationships with other bands, Flight Club, who's also on Open Your Ears Records, actually put in a good word with, about us to Adam, the owner of the OIE. And the moment, Adam heard about us, he gave us a call and he got in a dialogue or a conversation with Dave. But one of the things that I think he really appreciated was that we weren't, a band that had that pie in the sky dream of getting famous, rich, all that. We were grounded. We were realistic with our goals. And I think that was attractive to him. So, that forged the relationship that we have today with the OIE.
I would then kind of question how many interactions, because I know music nowadays is like, we have, I feel, a more universal understanding that it's not like, hey, you're going to make millions upon millions of dollars. Like how many people are encountering either at labels or other bands or artists or whomever that are encountering these people who are still like, yes, I'm going to make like millions and millions of dollars and be like this artist.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless you're one of the massive players in the industry, the label isn't going to pay you to quit your job. No one's going to pay us to quit our jobs and go on the road full time at this level. You do have to still do all of it yourself at the end of the day. And we're really happy doing that, you know, and I think that the modern music career is like so many other industries, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like I teach music production, and that really synergizes with being in a band at the same time. We're all just figuring it out.
Yeah, totally.
I definitely thought Liz
Yeah,
was
and
gonna
I work
say,
for the
so how many
government.
millions
That
do you have?
synergizes music creative. I'm kidding.
It's like, I don't know. I think that like from growing up in the music scene, it was always like, I'm in a band, I'm a musician, this is what I do. And so you just like dedicate your entire existence to it. And like, it took so long for people to realize how unsustainable that is, and how like, I do think there's a connection between like how close you are as a band, how much you like working together, how much you like creating with one another, and also like how you're at the same expectation of what the goal is and what the overall drive for it is. And I do think there's a lot of kids now who see like virality on the internet as like, I just want that. I just want to be on TikTok. Yeah. I want to be famous on the internet. And a lot of musicians have said, well, I'm already creating music, I might as well just put it on TikTok. And it tends to work out. It tends to do a good thing for everybody. But I think there's also a lot of musicians who are just like, you know, if I go viral or if I don't, I just want to like put out something I made for people who like it and do things for people who like it, while I also can like lead a fulfilling life in other ways before I make Drake money, you know, like once I'm Drake, I will be fine. Yeah. But until then, I'm just going to put out some dumb TikToks. And
but you had to be on Degrassi first, so you have to get on a teen show and then become Drake.
Well, as non-Canadians, you know, sorry, we couldn't get on Degrassi. That's how you pronounce it. We had to settle for like the Real World.
Maybe I think the Real World is way better.
Totally different shows, but yeah.
I think Jersey Shore would have been more in line. Like you could have probably gotten there more.
DJ Pauly D, the only musician whose opinion I listen to now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think
Mike,
what you said is exactly right. I think that's been a key to our success, is that being on the same page thing. And I think not every band takes time to check in with each other and make sure that you are at that same place. And it's not easy, and we still do it all the time. You have to always do it because people are changing every day. But if there's one thing that I think really pushed us forward for this record, it was that exact thing. We were more checked in and on the same page than ever before when we went to do this record. And we are today, too.
So what can we expect?
No.
Wow,
people should know it's okay to just want to play sick shows with friends and sick bands, and like that is a very worthwhile thing to dedicate your time to musically, and like fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you that from me now, where it's like, yeah, spending time on shit, you'll eventually have a podcast, so there's that.
It's the pipeline. You brew craft beer, you brew craft coffee, you roast it. Sorry, you roast the craft coffee.
You can make beer, coffee beer.
You know, there's just no more gatekeepers. You want to do a podcast, you just start doing it. You want to be in a band and release your music, you just get up and fucking do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awesome.
So then what can we expect, either a full length or another EP coming from you guys after this?
It's a great question. So we haven't decided yet, right? We have a relationship with OIE, and we're gonna collaborate with them on a good amount of new music. Again, like, coolest thing about them is that they're totally part of the team, and they're just like, what's your vision? Like, what do you feel inspired about right now? And we've talked about maybe doing a single too, first before we do another record, whether it be an EP or full length. It's definitely going to be more than what we just did. Like, we're going to be putting out a lot more music on Open Your Ears Records, and we're really stoked about it, especially because we have such a big backlog from writing for the last record, and a ton of stuff that we've done since we wrote that record. Because we finished writing that record in 2020, we recorded it in 2021, but like we haven't stopped writing since then. I mean, Marty sends, especially because Marty's at school all day working with kids, and in between like classes or at the end of the day, like he'll be like, oh, that song that I randomly had to come up with for 4 lessons is actually sick. Let me like do the rest of it. And then he'll send it to us. We're like, God damn it, Marty, stop writing songs every week. But it's really exciting. And I think we're really stoked to take what we did on Moments and take it even a step further now with like the team that we have behind us, and the sound that we kind of more solidified on the record, I guess. Is that fair, Marty?
Oh, absolutely. The direction has been set, and there's going to be a lot more content, and in less time than our previous release. So a lot more sooner. But the format is yet to be decided. And big thanks to OIE for letting us be flexible with that.
I'm assuming then you do a lot of like your own production since you're doing it all day anyway.
Yeah, 3 out of the 4 members of the band are producers. So, yeah, you guys can guess which one is not a producer.
The one who's not here. I don't know.
No. The one who actually just made that statement. So
Yeah.
No.
I just always blame the person who's not here, but I it also makes it a lot easier when you can just do everything yourself and don't have to rely on an additional person or additional resources like money or time. And you can just like say, hey, come over, lay down this guitar line. All right, cool. Thanks. Have a good rest of your night. Like now we have a song with guitar, and give me an hour and it'll sound crispy and beautiful.
Yeah, or I don't have to get it right immediately in this hour I'm paying for. Mm-hmm. It can be right when it's right.
Do you miss like having outside voices telling you how you should write it? Because I think that's a good thing and a bad thing, but I would also see like, if you're working more in the studio and working more on the writing process there, maybe the 4 or 5 of you can like get that right, get that strong, rather than like, oh, we need a producer, or like making a producer the reason.
That's the thing though, right? So I think how we used to operate was that, and that was great, because at least with me, Marty, and Jonah all being producers, we all have our own, preferences for like source tones and for mix styles and all of that. But, being able to do it all of ourselves is kind of like an echo chamber, because it's just the same band. And while with the production side, I think it's really helpful. On the writing side, sometimes I think it can be a blind sight, right? So like what we do now, which I think most bands that have those skills and take their craft seriously do this now, is they do exactly that. But then when they're done with that, like what we did that for 15 songs. And then we went in for 10 days with Nick Brzezzi and rewrote everything and brought it down to just 6 songs. So it's like we have both, right? Like we produce our own stuff, engineer it the way we think it should sound, argue amongst ourselves, vote on it, land at what it eventually sounds like, go in with Nick, have Nick tell us, that's not a song, dude, you don't have a chorus, rewrite it, and then record it in a studio with like millions of dollars of equipment so it sounds even better than what we did at our house, and be done, and then we can argue about mix notes all day long, but the song is like the song now. Yeah.
Also, just being able to be a musician and not have to split your attention between engineering, producing, and being the musician. That's a luxury for us this time around.
Yeah, and having the outside perspective is huge, because sometimes when the 4 of us are writing, we kind of get lost in that music, and we're just saying this is the only way we hear it. No other way. And then having, a person like Nick Brusesi just basically say, dude, this is not a fucking song. Let's kill it and rewrite something else, basically. So, and rewrite it to, be much better, where the four of us are very happy with it, with the results.
You always need the one person who says, like, hey, you guys have all been sitting around each other writing the same shit. No, stop. Yeah. We're cutting it all apart. It's like you need that kind of person to, like, what you basically need is somebody who's in the studio like, so Bestie, like, thanks for the song, but
no, for real.
Exactly.
For real though, that's essential. Yeah.
We need that.
Cool song,
we need a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be mandatory, like, in your studios when the next time you guys go to it, and you'll be like, I need a management bestie. And they're like, what's that? Hey, bestie, this isn't the greatest. Can you fix it?
Can we call him a dick or something? I just
I'd rather call him an asshole than bestie.
It's more direct.
Yeah. No passive aggression, just aggression.
Yeah, no passive aggressiveness right there.
That'll be an itemized line on the bill that we send to Hawaii. The producer, the asshole bestie.
Yeah. Asshole bestie.
The producer / asshole consultant.
We're almost at an hour. I want to give you a chance to throw out where everybody can get the record and where everybody can find you guys on the internet for when you're eventually doing more stuff with the music and the tour and the video. We're gonna say that's a leak, even though kind of like a half leak. It's a partial leak. It's a partial leak.
Dude, what are you guys talking about? What video?
Yeah. So it's a full leak now. Now I'm actually,
we love gaslight girl bossing here.
Yeah. Where can people find you on the internet? Where can people check out the record and or the EP, the single, and all that good stuff? And also just get tickets to the show, because you got a show coming up. There's pie. The tickets will sell themselves. Let's just tell people where to go get the tickets.
And there's Canadians too. Canadians are going to
there's Canadians.
They watch Degrassi.
Yeah, they do.
They know.
They know Drake.
Yeah. They all know Drake.
He knows everybody.
So you can find everything Deer Spring, including our Instagram, our TikTok, our Facebook. If people are still on that, boomers, I don't know. Maybe we have some boomer fans. Twitter, and then all of our show tickets and music videos and all the OAE stuff is at linktree.com/Deerspring, and that is DEARSPRING, because that's our name, and if you call us DEER Spring on Twitter one more time, we're going to kill you.
Oh wow, has that happened? How frequently has that happened? Because I feel like that wouldn't be my personal first thought of Deer Spring, but
it shows up on like venues, ticket links, and stuff. It happens from time to time.
Okay.
And but it's all good.
Then we have to be that asshole consultant that follows up with them, and
we need to buy the domain DEER Spring and just have it
redirect.
But before it does, it's like it's Deer Spring asshole, and then it like counts to 5, and then
it's Deer Spring.
It's like redirecting.
Bestie. Yeah, it's just to say bestie.
Yeah,
rerouting you, bestie.
All right, I've got homework. I'll get on it, guys.
It's funny because Lizzie, I've told you the story before about an ex of mine who was like, we have to get to Riot Fest because the Deer Hunter is playing. We have to go check out the Deer Hunter. And I'm like, okay, like I didn't really know you listened to them, but I like, oh yeah, okay, Deer Hunter, sure, whatever, we'll go. And we get there and we watch the entire set, and then she turns to me and goes, I've never heard of that band before in my life. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You rushed us here. And she was like, no, I was thinking about the DJ name Deer Hunter as one word and DEER. And this was the Deer Hunter, DEAR Hunter. So awesome very band. Similar names. I am amazed that you're like, I didn't do any research on a band I really like and whether it was the exact same band playing Riot Fest. I'm like, there's no way that it's the same band. but I'm glad that we woke up
Established
at
us
8
after the
a.m.
fast.
Yeah, to get here for a set that neither of us knew. Also, the Deer Hunter, pretty good.
They're pretty sick, yeah.
Yeah.
They are sick.
Yeah. So I'm like, I found a band I like today, but you fucking,
I bet she was bombed, though. That is not at all the same sounding music.
Not at all. I also love that she waited until the end of the set to go. Yeah,
That's my
sorry.
favorite part of that story.
Yeah.
Tried it.
Hey,
You know,
It's like, okay, this song is gonna be Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
The DJ. They're gonna bring him out.
Yeah. Just like,
just casual DJs like that at Riot Fest. Like, yeah, okay.
well, maybe it's like their early stuff, and then they'll get to like a couple songs. They like change their name in the middle of their career. Bands do that all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did refer to her as X because after that I just we can't be together. You are an idiot. That's not the real true story, but
I thought this was the tell the truth.
Yeah, we're playing Tell the Truth.
Yeah. Can you believe?
There's no lie detector. There's no paternity test.
We all know that Brian is not going to be the new Maury from what we've heard so far.
Yeah. I don't care if you lie. I just don't want you to lie to me. And I don't want you to have to. If there's one thing, don't make me get up early on a lie. Let me sleep in and lie to me. Fine. If I'm up, I say this about most musicians. It's like, I didn't want to get into music because I wanted to wake up early.
It's fair. It's fair.
Every 30 minutes at night, I'm sleeping till 2 p.m. And I'm playing video games till 4 a.m.
Damn.
That's nice. I did have to get used to teaching Pro Tools at 8 o'clock in the morning. That was a pretty stiff adjustment.
When it crashes that early, does it feel worse?
Table flip, everything. Yeah.
I feel like that's the only reaction to have.
If you could use anything besides Pro Tools, would you? And what would it be?
I don't know. I'm not that old, but I don't think I've been able to learn a new software. I just can't even.
Heads were tilted when you said I'm not that old.
I was hoping it would say Logic, but
it would be Logic.
Yeah.
It would be Logic.
Yeah. I don't love working in Pro Tools, but I do it sometimes just for you, Marty.
Cute.
Also, it's
Thanks, guy.
multi-platform, I guess.
That's fair, yeah. And you can go on Mac or Windows, which I just realized. And I feel like an idiot because I keep buying Mac computers. If I could just learn Pro Tools better, then I could just buy a Windows computer and spend less money and be able to go over to Marty's and be like, here's a session instead of here's 50 audio files.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's a zip
Have fun
file.
mixing it down.
Yeah.
Here's a zip file. You figure it out. I use Ableton and I'm still learning it, and I'm just ass.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
It's good. I have respect for all of them. I'm just most comfortable, most fluent in Pro Tools.
Yeah. And then it's like, am I going to learn something else? And I, as an adult, you're like, do I have time to learn like a whole new language, essentially? Like, no, I'm just going to work with what I already know. I'm going to fumble my way through it and just move on. Welcome to the Emo Social Podcast. No. Well, we are going to move over to some friends are over on Twitch. We're going to go say hi and chat with them a little bit. So if you're not in the Twitch audience, you're missing out on the conversation over there. But we hope you've enjoyed at least the podcast recording with Deer Spring. And if you did, you got to go listen to the EP. You got to listen to the single. You got to like, you got to subscribe, you got to ring that bell, you got to high five, you got to give your phone a smooch when you see their faces on it. I don't know.
Give your phone a smooch.
Just a little, you're like, Deer Spring, it's a real smoochable band. Just go ahead and, comment that if you've listened this far into the episode. Yeah, let's go. Let's talk to everybody on Twitch. But until we see you guys, hopefully in Chicago when sometime soon,
When it
hopefully.
happens.
Yeah,
We'll come back around. We've been in there. We've been in the Windy City.
There you go.
Yeah, we played the Cubby Bear, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was a long time ago. It's like,
That was a cute venue.
Yeah. It's a fine venue in the broiest section of our city. So,
it's true.
Yeah.
yeah.
Why? Because Wrigley Field is right across the street.
Oh yeah.
And then the Cubs won, and they're like, what if we just dumped a bunch of money into this area, but we kept like what is essentially a punk venue, but we just made it like, we'll have a bunch of cover bands, and then the Foo Fighters will just come back. And,
Sometimes for funsies.
yeah. Craziness. I guess Metro is also in that area, so you could
Yeah,
have
it's
like
down the street.
the Metallica show at Metro, which just happened last year. So, you know,
Wow.
it's a
That's
weird
cool.
weird area, weird town.
Yeah, but there's tons of venues. That's what's cool. Like I
Yeah.
feel like every time we go back, we play a totally different room. Like the first time was this place called the Elbow Room, which was like downstairs punk DIY.
It's no
Yep.
longer there, and
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
it was trash. I'll say that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I say that as somebody who Lizzie and I both had contacts that worked there, and I'll you know, what are they going to do? Be mad now that it's closed? It was trash.
Nah, yeah. I mean,
Wait. Are you saying like trash at its finest?
No, that's subterranean trash at its finest. The Elbow Room was just like, hey, we need this load-bearing pole, but it has to be directly in the center of the stage.
Yep.
yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and have some concerns about that entire build of a stage.
We did play with a sick blues band that night, though. And the
Okay.
one thing I remember, obviously, like, it was a bunch of dudes in, like, I want to say their 50s. I could be wrong. But they didn't really bring anybody out, but they played
All
some sick songs, and they had this one song that was just like, how you like your teeth, motherfucker? Oh, knock 'em out. It was like that. It was so ridiculous.
Beautiful.
That's
All right,
the-
let's move it over to Twitch. But Dear Spring, phenomenal having you guys on. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Hell
thank
yeah.
you.